What's going on? Time to get together with friends and talk some shit. August 28th, 2023. Let's get the homies going. We've got the Comic Lizard and the JD Geek.
What's going on?
And we have also got from Parts Unknown.
Woo!
The most exciting guy on Whatnot. The Whatnot Nightmare. The nightmare of whatnot, whatnottiness.
All right, the not A. Oh, damn, I just farted and it felt warm.
Uh-oh. It's going to be one of those egg ones. It's going to get
know,
caught
man,
in your beard.
God. I almost tasted it. God damn. Yeah.
He got me. His mouth is open.
Worst.
Shit.
I hate when Josh does that. We go upstairs and sometimes he rips ass on me. I'm like, you gotta warn me so my mouth is closed.
Those ones that slap you in the face. What the fuck was that?
Where did that come from? Dang.
All right. So, lots of cool stuff happened this last week. They had that Long Beach collector thing or whatever. It used to be Long Beach Comic Con, right? And then now it was just a bunch of other random things that weren't Comic Con. Am I correct? I'm interested in if anybody Collecticon.
I'm doing Long Beach now.
Are you doing it?
Well,
this Collecticon just passed this last weekend, and Chuck Norris was there, dude.
I know. Everyone was like, you should go. I was like, I already met him. Remember, 2 years ago, I got Arizona. They hooked me up with a signature and sit down and talk with them and stuff when Whatnot was right at the peak, and I was one of the only guys doing it. They wanted me to sit down with them. So I sat down with him, and he could fucking sign my book right on the dick. And fucking Chuck Norris kicking like that and shit.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I never heard that true fuzzy Hollywood story before.
I never told you guys that one?
No, sir.
About Arizona? Oh, dude, yeah. They brought me out to Arizona to do Whatnot at the con when I first started doing Whatnot, and he was there, and I was like, look, if you could get me a signature by Chuck Norris, I was like, I'll come out there, and they paid for my travel and all that stuff. But I was like, I don't want to pay for the grading or anything. I just want to go there, give it to them. You guys grade it. That's my payment. I'll call it a day. And they did, and it was dope. So I got to go there, and I looked at Chuck Norris in the face. I looked into his beard, and I survived, ladies and gentlemen. I looked into it, and I lived. But that one thing I noticed about him, when people have not skin cancer, but their skin gets replaced, I guess, the graft, they'll graft it. It looked like all around by his mustache and shit was done that. It looked weird. I was like, does he have prosthetics on and stuff like that? And then the one thing that kept running through my head was watching us going to get Stan Lee's signature. That's what it was like. He was very robotic. As far as when he was talking to me.
So he was Weekend at Bernie's on his fucking signatures?
Yeah, he was really out of it, dude. I felt bad. I was so I didn't, but he was real nice to me, and he was just and I made, I got to tell him a Chuck Norris joke, and he laughed. He's like, I love those things, and he's like, I love it. They make me laugh. And I was like, oh, it's awesome. And I'm like, I'm looking into your beard, and I'm surviving. And he's like, because your beard is as tough as mine. And I said, that's right, Chuck. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And he fucking signed I had a Deadly Hands of Kung Fu with Chuck Norris from the 70s, with the fucking bowl cut and flying through the air and shit. So he literally signed. He was like, I just handed it to him, and he got right up to where the crease of his dick is in the picture, and he just wrote across it. I was like, damn, all right, dude, cool. Fuck yeah. Yes, James, I saw that this weekend, and I agree with you 110%, dude.
Shots fired. Meg 2, huh? What did you think?
Look, dude, it was a bad movie, but it was what I expected. You know what I mean? I got a little bit extra with it, like Stratham fighting a fucking shark. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait. I have one question about that. Does he actually kick a dude off a pier into the shark's mouth?
and it was awesome. I literally fucking said, "That's how it's done, boys." I was watching with my two boys. Like, that's how you do it. You see that? He didn't want to waste his energy. He said, "Let the shark kick his ass." No, the part that got me though, dude, like, where, like, and again, I'm just like in my head, I'm going like, just fucking go with it. Like, who gives a shit? Like, just go with it. They're like, we built these suits that can, you know, and he's testing them out and he's breaking bricks with the fucking, you know, the robotic suit. And then they're in the water, and the whole time that never comes up, like how strong it is. Like, I kept going like, oh, that's how Stratham's gonna fight the fucking shark. He's gonna put the suit on, and he's gonna beat the shit out of the shark. Nope, never happened. They cock teased me with that, and I was really pissed. I was like, fuck, we don't want him to see that shit.
Did you know that Jason Statham was a high diver?
Yeah, that was how he got known by Guy Ritchie. Like, he was famous for it, like, big time. And so that's why I always laugh, like, the little jokes when he's talking about, like, and then the other part that got me in the movie was the jet ski. Him on the jet ski with the fucking spears, fucking with bombs on me. We were literally cheering in the house, just screaming like, "Hell yeah, dude, let's kick his ass, dude!"
So what are they doing the Meg 3? Because they had the Megalodons, they had the giant octopus, they had Jurassic Park on the island. Like, what the fuck next? What's the next level?
He's gonna inject himself and become a Meg.
From the books that.
Oh, it's a book?
There's books?
Hell yeah. Meg was a book. Yeah, I read Meg when I was in high school.
What's up, Nando? Hey, check your emails, Nando. Check your emails.
He wanted to come last week, but he couldn't.
When I was in high school, and then all of a sudden this movie Meg comes out, and I'm like, I wonder if it's supposed to be like the book. Sure enough, I mean, they've way elaborated on it. That's like saying that, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean Stranger Tides is based off Tim Powers' Stranger Tides novel. It's like they like pirates found at youth. And that's the only like thing that's like similar. But he got paid a lot of money for it.
I got in the Meg what I kind of wanted with Cocaine Bear. You know what I mean? Like, just fun. Like, you know, like just it's the truth. Like, because you hear the name Cocaine Bear, and you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be fucking nuts. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like lower. That's what I mean. Like, I had my expectations higher when I sat and watched the Meg. I'm going like, okay, dude. Like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you do it.
Yeah, the books were really good, but like. The movie is nothing like the book other than the Megalodon and the Marianas Trench. And that's about it. Those are the only things that's similar to the book.
Wasn't that where they tried to bury the Hunt for Red October?
No, that was the Laurentian Abyss.
Gotcha. Okay, because like when I watched it, I was like, ooh, that's where the Meg's at. The Meg's down there. The Meg's going to eat the
other ocean.
Right.
The Marianas Trench is in the Pacific.
There's a reason why Fuzzy ain't on a boat fucking going nowhere. You know what I mean, dude? Like, I don't know Nordic, okay, dude? I don't know Stern, Libadji, all that shit. I don't know that stuff, dude. You know what I mean? I know what an anchor is. That's what I call my wife, but, you know.
Damn. Just real quick, kind of off.
She's in the other room.
Since Nando's watching, hey Nando, just wanted to make sure that you're in for a D&D game when we come out to visit California in a couple weeks.
God dang right he is.
I'm hoping. Anyway.
Where are we gonna play it?
I don't know, probably at the store.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why not? I got my thong ready. We're ready, dude.
Yeah, shirts only.
Right. That's right.
Oh wow.
There we go,
I got
Nando.
the black lung pops. I think I see it now.
I'm not sure I want to hang brains with you guys.
It's a sausage party, guys.
No sword fighting.
Yeah, that's why we call it Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna pull out our swords and ting 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 ting.
That's the only kind of swords and sandals he likes. we found the type of swords and sandals that we have to
High
get us to
five.
watch. That just opened like a whole new category for movies to watch.
Oh,
Yikes.
no way. No, please don't. Please don't. But then what else did I see? I saw Super Mario Brothers. It was okay. I dug it. You know what I mean? Like it was a simple story, fun. I see why kids liked it, but I don't get
It's
why
what it should
everyone
be in a cartoon.
No, yeah.
Everybody loved it because it wasn't proselytizing.
It hit all the notes you wanted in a Mario, like even down to like the little music. You know what
I'll
I
be
mean?
right
Like,
back,
the old school
Mario.
music, and like they had little jokes in there. Yeah, like there was even like at one point when something bad happened, it went do 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 do. Like I was like, it's awesome.
Did they how was
I hated that sound.
how was Chris Pratt's Mario voice?
It's just Pratt's voice with like kind of an Italian accent. Like he wasn't trying to do it. Like you could tell, like he just went in there and said the lines. You know what I mean? And like they kind of had like an Italian feel to it, but it wasn't like bad. Like there's only two parts when he goes like "Let's go," but it's like that's like his tag for like when he's about to kick ass. That's part of the movie. You know what I mean? Like every movie where they're about to whoop ass, and like it's like "Let's go," and I was like, okay, there it is. But
His
it was
Italian
all right.
was as good as Sean Connery's Russian.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was about on par. Like they were on par with each other. They were on par, but like it was good. Like I liked it. I didn't think it was like everyone's going nuts for that Peaches song or whatever that Jack Black did, and I heard it and I go, okay, that I don't get why everyone loves this song so much, dude. But whatever. And then there was the what is it, Toad. The Toad, he was kind of funny. And then Seth Rogen was actually really good. I liked him as Donkey Kong. I thought he was funny. But I like Seth Rogen. And then I finally saw Blue Beetle.
And
like I enjoyed it. Like seriously, I enjoyed it. Like it was a good. Like I teared up a couple times. Like it was good. But I had the same problem I had with Black Panther in that I know this is like his origin story, you know what I mean? It's starting to sound like what?
Spartacus?
Star Spartacus. Yeah, it's going to get hot like that, dude. Spartacus, swords and shit. But
Every swinging dick in town.
It was like Blue Beetle was like your origin story, but the problem I had, like I was telling my kids when we walked out of it, I go, the whole movie he's whining. He's fucking whining the whole time, and he doesn't become heroic until like the last 20 minutes of the movie. And everyone's like, well, yeah, he's got to do it. But his family like comes running in there with guns and ships, and they're fucking doing more ass kicking than Blue Beetle was. And I was like, well, is this the fucking Blue Beetle family movie, or is this fucking Blue Beetle and shit? Like that. Those were my complaints about it. But like, I think the kid is great as Blue Beetle. Like, I just think the material that he was given, you know what I mean? Like he did the best with what he had. So he is very engaging. Like I do like him. I even liked George Lopez. Like I thought he was kind of funny in the thing, and the little Hispanic jokes were really good. But again, like the whole movie, he's just like whining, like the way he gets the scarab, it gets into him. You know what I mean? And then he becomes the Blue Beetle. He's whining the whole time, and then like
Bienvenido, Hector.
What's going on,
watching.
Hector?
Even though you like the Niners, we'll have you
like
come and watch us anytime.
I like the Niners too. They kick the
like
best
San
field
Francisco?
goals. That's right. That's where Montana and Rice was from. So when I watched football, that was my team. That's how long ago it was. But yeah, Blue Beetle was. I still give it like a 7 or 8. You know what I mean? Like it's good. Like you'll dig it. And then Susan Sarandon brings back, like, I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, I'm sure you do. Like Nicholson's Joker. You know, fucking DeVito's. You know, Penguin. Cat. Like it's just over the top. She's that way. Like she's the villain to the umpteenth power. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, she's cool. Like she's so good in it. Like I was like, I loved watching her do that.
Doesn't she play the original Blue Beetle's wife though?
I didn't catch that. I thought it was like the stepmom or something like that, but I'm not. And then like the original Blue Beetle supposedly fucking, you know, like they're doing it like Ant-Man. So like Hank Pym, you know what I mean, and then fucking he's missing, and then they're gonna like, so that's kind of like in the backstory of the thing that the original Blue Beetles have been missing and shit like that. And so you can know where that's gonna end up going. It's his sister? Oh, I didn't get that part, dude. I knew they were related somehow. And then that was the other thing. His daughter, the original Blue Beetle's daughter in it, I didn't like her. She bugged the fuck out of me. Like I was like, I want to kick her so hard. I was like, please someone kill her. I was like, Omac, just shoot the shit out of her. Just do it.
Omac's in it? Oh man.
Yeah, Omac's in it. But
Dan Marino's only Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's cool. Joe Montana was great.
But he was like trying to find Omac stuff. Now that makes sense.
What's up, Isaac? This
Isaac,
guy wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. This is my other friend Isaac that works at Costco. Not to be confused with the other friend Isaac that works at Costco. This guy wakes up at 5 in the morning and jujitsus with his homies. Pretty cool dude.
Damn.
It's like my other brother Larry, and this is my other brother Larry. This is my other friend Isaac.
I do jujitsu with the man in my pants.
Oh,
hello.
Swinging dicks.
Pamela Henderson.
That's right. We do jujitsu under the sheets.
So I went to I was able to go to a musical event this weekend.
I crossed the line.
I saw.
How was it? Did you see Metallica?
I saw Metallica and Pantera on Friday at SoFi Stadium, and it's pretty interesting because there's like basically five levels at the stadium, but only 2 levels are above ground. So level 4 and 5 are above ground, and then the other ones go underground, which is pretty cool. So that way that planes can go over it and not crash into the stadium on the way to LAX, because you can see them passing over, but you don't hear them. The first night, the acoustics were horrible, but which was rough because the Pantera, they only played the first night. The second night was what we were calling 5-finger discount, but it was a 5-finger death punch. Once the homie came out with the 5-finger discount joke, it stuck the whole time. So 5-finger discount, and much like, well, I don't want to say much like Dodger Stadium. Probably, if you go to an event at Dodger Stadium that's not a baseball game, and we saw the police at Dodger Stadium, and it took us 3 hours to leave the parking lot afterwards because of the traffic and maybe where we were or whatever, but it took us an hour and a half to get out the first night, and about an hour the second time. The first night we were just kind of standing and watching people fight in the parking lot and stuff. That was pretty cool. 2 Cholo brothers were like fighting each other, and he's like, "Oh, fuck you, fool!" And they're like boxing and stuff. And then the guy runs over to us. "Yeah, man, that was my brother, man. He was talking shit about my mom." And I was like, "It's his mom too." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I was talking shit about his mom." And I was like, "What was that?" It's like he fell right out of training day, and I expected him to be like, "Have you ever had your shit pushed in?" It was great. The second night, I'm not sure what happened, but the acoustics were way better on the second night, and we brought chairs and coolers with drinks and water and peanuts and snacks and other stuff. So we tailgated the second time, and we made the best of being stuck in the parking lot. It actually worked out really well. So Metallica, man, James Hetfield's fucking 60 years old, and they still shred the fuck out of the place. Amazing mosh pits, good times, great friends. It was stellar, to say the least. Super fun, great show. I don't know that. I did hear that at SoFi, when you get lower down in the stadium, that the acoustics are better than when you go up, because the further you go up, it starts echoing and whatnot. So we'll see if we go there. I know that when we saw Depeche Mode at the Forum, it sounded really, really good. I think that they've got that just all decked out as a concert venue, and they're not doing any type of sports or anything in there anymore. So I don't know.
Yes, they are. Me and Havoc and Isaac went and saw AEW there. Okay, AEW wrestling. That's sports entertainment. Boom. Happening.
That's not sports.
Sports entertainment is in the name. And speaking of which,
no. There's a difference between sports and sports entertainment.
No.
Why would they put entertainment on there if it wasn't just sports?
Because it's athletic. You have to be athletic to do what they do in the ring. That's why it's sports.
I didn't say it didn't.
Right, so that's why it's sports. It's athleticism that does it. And athleticism.
Would you call Cirque du Soleil sports entertainment?
No.
Why?
I would because that is
that's a theater.
It's a dance. It's like dance. It's like
so
like
it's AEW.
No.
Well, if you go check, hold on. If you go check NBA has entertainment, sports entertainment under NBA. If you go check on it, it's the same thing. NBA has it's covered under sports entertainment. So they could literally fix the games if they wanted to. Or is the NFL? Actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's either NBA or NFL. One of those two are sports entertainment.
And like they say, man, just because they know the outcome doesn't mean that they know they don't know what's going to happen in the ring. Like, they have to feel it, they have to do it. So these guys are literally at the seat of their pants, going like, "All right, man, you got to hit me with a chair." And then fucking, he hits him with a chair and shit like that. Like, he may have his hand up like this, but that shit still fucking takes a person to take it. Someone to do a backflip off that thing, dude. I can't do that. I get up and I fucking pull my hamstring and shit like that, just off getting off the couch. So fucking these guys get all the props. But
so by that logic, Jackie Chan movies from the 80s are sports entertainment?
No, they're movies. Like, that's what I always say. You can go to a movie.
That's dumb.
You could go to a movie and watch Jackie Chan do all that stuff, and not once are you watching that movie going like, "This is all fake." You're just watching it and enjoying it. That's the same way as wrestling. Who said it was?
It isn't. I'm not saying it's fake, but sports would mean that there was a game played.
Hector, they don't like
where there was a winner. No, I'm not saying I don't like it.
No, you're saying to pass it around.
Oh, it's not my wrestling's not my bag of tea, but I used to watch it. I understand why you guys like it, but I agree it's sports entertainment, but that's not sports.
It's athletes, but
I'm not saying it's not athletes.
We must give a shout out.
They're stuntmen. They're great athletes, especially. Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, would it be better than to compare professional wrestling to a Harlem Globetrotters game?
Yeah. No, I'm with that. I agree with that, because the Harlem Globetrotters, they know who's going to win. You know what I mean? At the end, but they have to improvise a lot of the shit that they're doing there. They're just not like a stuntman. It's sad to say like a stuntman for these guys, because a stuntman goes into a set. He knows what he's going to do. There's a crash pad. There's a fucking, rappel thing. Like, they plan it out. They know to be safe, which they should. In wrestling, it's literally you just whispering something into someone's ear, the way you touch somebody. And, like, you may not be prepared. That's how people break their neck.
I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and there are people who plan everything out behind the scenes. They know what they're going to do ahead of time, and there's other ones that are just like, run, jump, I'm going to hit you, and they're doing it as they go. Right. There's other ones. There's the super old guys who are just trying to not die while they're throwing people around themselves, and then they're like, oh, all right, pin me now, and they do their thing. So, they are athletes. It is entertainment, and I would go as far as to say it's sports entertainment, but it's not sports.
Oh, we can argue about this.
I guess the NFL is the same definition as WWF and AEW.
No,
NFL has,
you're wrong.
How much you want to bet? Go Google it.
You can't bet me until you pay me back from the last bet you lost.
There's Google.
You can't bet me until you pay me back from the last bet you lost. You owe me
there's Google
gift certificate
showing
to Ray's
NFL
Comics.
Entertainment.
Remember that?
I
Last
guess
time you lost.
What's your definition?
Now you want to bet money? You can't. Your bets are no good.
Any kind of athleticism, I think, is a sport. Like
NFL is sports entertainment. So I don't know what you're talking about. So your whole thing is
what is it?
Out the window.
Right.
No, it's not out the window, and you're wrong. And don't come up here betting. Yeah, Ultimate Warrior is great.
It's out the window.
But we gotta pay respect. We gotta pay respect.
How have I got it wrong? It's been there since 1922. NFL's been sport entertainment since 1922. How is it? How am I wrong?
Wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Facts are wrong.
I guess it just depends on the definition of sports, because you get stuff like curling is considered a sport.
Yeah, because they're competing, and there's a winner and there's a loser.
Right.
Depending on how you compete, it's not some prearranged thing.
I think the qualification has to be that not only is it a competition, but it's also not fixed. Once it's fixed, once the end is predetermined, then it's entertainment.
Now there have been real sports events that have been fixed.
Yeah, but that's not.
That would be the exception that makes the rule.
And there have been times in wrestling where they have said someone is going over, which means someone's going to win. And the people in the ring say, nope, that's not happening tonight. And they fucking change it on the spot. Honky Tonk Man, the guy I've been getting to know, he told me bluntly to my face that they tried to take the belt off him so many times that he walked out there and told the guy, you ain't pinning me. And he walked out and they counted him out and he got to keep the belt. So he has held the belt the longest in the Intercontinental title. So there are things like that, especially back in the day. They did say, fuck you, you don't do it. Of course, they got punished for it and stuff like that. But I'm just saying,
Stone Cold never lost to Brock Lesnar. He just bailed.
Hey, look, Stone Cold's the man that deserves it, and so does Brock. And Brock, the moonsault off the thing landed on his neck and didn't break it. Like, was it?
What bet are we talking about?
But we have to pay respect. Dude, this week, we lost so many people, like, back to back to back. It was fucking insane. We lost one of the greatest fucking wrestlers of all time, Terry Funk. We all know Terry Funk, dude. You know what I mean? He was the man that created the hardcore match, dude. Like, the way
James Lewis is hilarious. He sends me, every day, he sends me a different ridiculous... they're the ones I end up sending you, Fuzzy.
I know.
Where they're wrestling like mannequins and stuff.
The dick one's the best one. That's the one that I was like, that's my secret move right there. But we lost Terry Funk. We lost Bray Wyatt, with one of the great guys, would have been one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, fucking passed away. And then we lost Bob fucking Barker, another WWE Hall of Famer. 3 WWE guys, dude.
You know what's crazy? I thought Bob Barker died like 5 years ago.
Pee Wee Herman before that, because he was a wrestler too.
That's right, Pee Wee Herman too.
He got caught wrestling in the theater, right?
He went up against The Rock.
Mm-hmm. His rock hard cock.
Whoa.
But there's to be a lot of penis talk this episode.
Yeah. It's because we're fearing sandals and swords.
You're fearing them.
Maybe that's part of it. But like it was just it's been a crazy week. And then fucking Greg called me, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he really wanted to do Long Beach Comic Con. So now I am gonna have a booth at Long Beach Comic Con with Greg the Hammer Valentine this weekend out in Long Beach.
That's this weekend?
Yep, this weekend.
You gonna bring a honky tonk man there too?
Honky, he was
gonna be cool and cocky and bad.
the original idea was gonna be. I am very lonely. I'm very lonely. The original plan was we were supposed to be in Arizona this weekend for a show out there with Honky Tonk and Greg, but then the guys out there in Arizona got some shit mixed up, and so now we're back at Long Beach, and they gave us a corner booth and everything. So I was like, okay, we'll do it. And they gave it to us real cheap, so I was like, "Fuck it, we'll do it." So I will be there this weekend with Greg the Hammer Valentine, and talking to him about shooting. We're gonna try to get a little documentary going about his life and shit. Because the shit he tells me, I'm always like, "Damn, dude, you should put this on camera, man." Like, it's fucking crazy ass stories and shit. And that's the other thing I always tell people, like, you guys watch some of those like Dark Side of the Rings and stuff like that they show like behind the scenes of what, and you hear some like that's just like the stuff that they're willing to talk about. Like that's what I mean. Like that's the stuff they're willing to talk about. Like I sat down with Piper one time before he died, and real nice guy, just sat there and he was talking with me. And I'll never forget the story. Like I literally, like it's drilled in my head because I couldn't stop picturing it and fucking like laughing my ass off about how he was in Japan before he was like, in WWE and stuff like that. But he was in Japan, and he's like, I'm the only American to be banned from Japan. Like I was banned. He was banned because they had like soda machines that had beer in it. So he would go up there and just get fucking drunk, like, put a quarter in, pop a beer, get fucked up. And he's trying to get back to his hotel room, and the taxi driver, he's there, gets in the cab, and the guy's like, no, I'm off the clock. And he gets out, and Piper goes, well, fuck it. And he gets inside the front seat of the car and throws it in the drive and drives through a Korean barbecue. Like fucking just drives through it and crashes. So they arrest him. And then, he's a wrestler, so they bring him out. And I'm laughing. He's like, "Oh, it gets better. It gets better." It's like, okay, so you have a contract, like that you have to do. Well, because now that he is now considered to be kicked out, he can't complete the contract. So they tried to dick him out of the money, and so he worked it out pretty much to where he could stay there for like the 4 weeks, like the month he had left to do in his contract. But they put him at the bottom of the card so low that he was making nothing, and so he got mad and he called up Vince McMahon Sr. and goes, I want to get out of here. Do you have a job for me? He goes, yeah, sure. So when you're in Japan, they give you your own apartment. Like they pay for your apartment and everything that you can stay in. And out there, they got these huge high rises and shit. So the promoter would not give him his money for his last, job. He wouldn't give him his money. And so Piper's like, cool, don't worry about it. And so he leaves and finds a donkey in Japan. Okay, finds a donkey. No elevator.
Anything involved with a donkey, or the
walks it up to the 60th floor, puts it in the apartment, and locks the door, and leaves and goes to America. As he lands in the plane, he's getting, no cell phones or anything like that. So he fucking gets into his house, and there's all these messages on his fucking answering machine from all the American wrestlers that are still in Japan, going like, "What did you do to the donkey?" And he's like, what the fuck is he like? What? I didn't do anything to donkey. And so they start telling him that when they finally open it, it took them a week to open the door. So they didn't go and check on the apartment for a week. So the donkey was in there for a week. It fucking died. It ate his couch. It shit and pissed everywhere all over the place. And that was his payback for fucking not paying him his, $200 or whatever the fuck it was, dude. I was like, and he goes, and that's just one of his little stories, dude. You know what I mean? He was like, he goes, rock stars, movie stars, they're pussies compared to us wrestlers. And I was like, yep, that's right, dude. You guys are awesome, man. So literally listening to Greg tell me stories like that where I'm just like, Because Greg will tell me shit like that too, where I'm looking at him. I go, "Can I tell people?" He goes, "No, you can't. Like that's don't tell anyone about." That's why I don't tell you guys, because I keep my word. If someone tells me something, I don't, I won't break it. But I was like, God damn. So I want him to tell the stories, and then that way, if anyone gets in trouble, it's him, not me.
There was I saw Ric Flair go on to somebody's podcast, Mullet Guy.
I don't. I know which one you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Hulk Hogan was on there too.
Yeah, I saw.
What can I remember? Theo Vaughn. Yeah, Theo Vaughn's podcast, and Ric Flair was talking about fucking Piper being the one who could do the most cocaine out of anyone, out of all the wrestlers. That Piper was the one who could handle the most cocaine.
Oh yeah, he
was called Rowdy for a reason.
He was. If you ever want to like read a good biography, read his biography. Like it is a really good fucking read, because it's funny. Like you literally are reading it and you're just laughing about shit, but then you hear this story of how he pretty much got into wrestling because he had to survive. I didn't get to watch it, man. I didn't get to watch it, brother. I saw the aftermath, but I couldn't.
Oh, I
didn't
did.
Get to watch
it was awesome.
It
was the best. It was the best pay-per-view I've seen in a long time.
They're turning MJF into Roman, dude. Fucking got the double belts and shit. Dude, I was dying. I was like, holy crap.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. But I like AEW, dude. Like I love AEW. I love wrestling. But when I hear the guys nowadays, they don't have these stories. They ended in the 90s. That's right when it ended, these crazy ass stories, because everyone started having social media and all that stuff. Wrestlers got away with fucking legit murder. There's wrestlers that have murdered people in the back of in the locker rooms.
Haku?
And gotten away with it. No,
didn't Haku murder somebody though?
He supposedly did. Same thing with what's the guy's name? Iron Sheik. He's supposedly killed someone. Jimmy Snuka, but Brutus.
Jimmy Snuka for sure.
No, Snuka did. I mean, people there was a saying that one of the wrestlers told me one time when we were talking, and he said, "The ring is the only place in the United States that you can legally kill somebody in front of millions of people and get away with it. You can legit kill somebody.
You're somebody's hero."
Yeah,
Owen Hart.
Yeah, Owen Hart, but he died. No one killed him. But there's been guys that have fucking Flair. The Rowdy Piper and Flair used to get stabbed by knives from audience members going in and out of the ring because people hated them so much. If you went to Puerto Rico, they would throw D batteries at you. It fucking just peg you with it. The shit that they dealt with to just be the bad guy, fucking, I give so much respect. Maybe it's because I love actors and acting, because technically, they're selling a character. So I that's commitment. You know what I mean? Macho Man. He's the number one for committing to his fucking role to nonstop. You know what I mean? The Macho Man was the Macho Man the whole way through. So he snapped into the Slim Jim one too many times and fucking just believed that's who he was, dude.
Did Randy Poffo off the edge?
Yep.
See, I know enough about it.
Oh,
yeah, I used to watch it. I was entertained by it as well, but I wouldn't bet any money on it. That's for fucking sure.
Oh, dude, I do. I bet we have parties of betting money. I'll have it.
Oh, against each other? Against each other? That's fine. That's fine. You don't want money going into some bookie or some kind of shit like that.
Well, my boys keep wanting me to do it. They have it on the DraftKings. You could bet on it, and I'm always like, no, I don't want to do that.
Marching band rivalries. Wow.
Yeah,
Nando.
no, hey, Nando, I've had them thrown too, and they don't feel good when they hit you, man. There's two things that I've been hit with that I don't like, and that's or three things I should say: frozen paintballs, D batteries, and a dick. Either way, those I don't want to get slapped.
I knew the penis was gonna come back.
I'm trying to keep it going. I'm trying to keep the jokes going.
He threw that shit before he came in the room.
I knew that was coming.
That was a bad wind up, but it still was a strike. It still went in. You know what I'm saying, dude? Look, that's the.
All right.
You're nothing if not predictable, Fuzzy.
This last Tuesday, we were able to get 2 episodes back to back of the new Ahsoka series on Disney Plus. Out of all of the pop culture content that you absorbed this last week, Fuzzy, tell me you were able to watch Ahsoka.
I did.
All right. Now, you didn't watch the cartoon, so you're coming in with a very clear backstory, right?
Correct.
So, you're coming in clear.
I'm coming in with just what we've seen in the shows.
Liz and Jaded are coming in clear. Liz and Jaded are coming in. Liz, you're not coming in clear?
I don't know what's clear mean.
Meaning you didn't watch the cartoons. You're just watching the live action stuff. Okay, so Sanchez and I are the only ones who have seen the cartoons and whatnot. So I'm going to start with Sanchez because he's got a there's a run up to his opinion of the show. What did you think of it, Sanchez?
I enjoyed it. There's a lot of from the. I like that they did the homages of the cartoon. Couple little things that straight from the cartoon. There was a lot of first I was watching it thinking Fuzzy, right? There was actually lightsaber fights, which Fuzzy, that's one of the categories that he needs. The story, you do need to know a little bit about the cartoons to know exactly what they're talking about on some portions of the show. Not a lot, but if they're talking about Ezra, a lot of people don't know who the hell Ezra is. Or Thrawn if they don't know anything about of the comics or anything like that. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was good 2 episodes. It was okay. I hope the next one has more action. It was good.
For me, I don't necessarily like. I agree with you for the most part. I'm okay with there being more action, but I would like them to be able to delve into the characters at least, so that people who are coming into it without having been exposed
it's gonna be
to
hard
previously. Yeah, right.
It'll be hard because not knowing who Sabine is. I mean, you just know her that she was. Well, they tell you there that she was Ahsoka's pupil, Padawan. But other than that, you don't know anything about her. You don't know
she doesn't have the Force.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if if at the beginning you're seeing that they're celebrating, her and all the other people, it's like you don't know why, you don't know, and that same portion of the portrait, that's part of the cartoon. But yeah, it's that's the only thing that for me I enjoyed it a lot because, like I said, I know the cartoons and it just felt like this is fucking awesome. Like it's finally everything's closing in. It's closing, like he's finally doing everything. But I could see the new people getting a little bit confused.
Yeah, I can see it too. And I'm with you, Steve. I like it. I like where it's going, but I can understand. I've already got like an inkling of what people who hadn't seen, like, who the hell are these people? All that stuff coming in would probably have that feeling. And I think they did a good job fleshing out these characters on the Rebels show. It is unfortunate that people would have to go and try to do some kind of homework to be able to jump into this. I think that they could probably get a hold of some kind of a comic book writer or something like that. You know how comic books come to a point where there's a spot where there's jumping on points. I think they got to try to get that jumping on point fleshed out a little bit. I think they have one here. I'm just hoping that they can try to they can try to get it to where people can be interested in these characters, because I found that they were good characters. They were interesting characters. I am looking forward to them having some guys in there at some point, because at this point, yeah, it does, like there was balance. Yeah, there was balance in the Rebels show. It wasn't just like the Lilith fair with lightsabers. There was the protagonists were two guys, a Jedi and his Padawan, and then the Jedi gets killed, saving everyone, and his Padawan kind of takes the mantle of Jedi, and then the Padawan ends up martyring himself to drag Thrawn away from everyone, and that's why this whole thing is trying to bring Thrawn back. So, I just hope that they can. I don't know. I hope they can pull it off, because I think that these characters are they're worth the time.
Yeah, but they're well, I don't mind it. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's all girls. I don't care as long as the story is good. But well, as you know, all the males are either dead or disappeared on the story, and of course, Anakin's freaking Darth Vader. So everybody else is gone. Well, except for Ezra. They're trying to see, hopefully Ezra's still alive.
No, the other dude's around too. What was the blue-haired guy's name? I know you know what I'm talking about, Steve.
Yeah.
Was his name Kanan?
No, Kanan was the Jedi that died.
That died. He saved everybody.
But there was
that was a tearjerker on that one. That was a tearjerker when he on that story, when he saved there, when he sacrificed himself.
Yeah, he went out a couple times.
I'm going into this not watching it, and I think they're doing a great job, because I get that guy. Like, I'm coming into it blindly, in the sense that I know who the characters are, but I don't know who they are. You know what I mean? I don't know the backstory and stuff like that. But I'm watching it and I'm going like, okay, that's her brother, or like, it's got to be somebody that, like, they're doing a good job of filling us in, like you were saying, a jump off point. I think it's a good start, because I'm not questioning it. Like, I'm not left with going like, well, who's that guy, and like, why is it going? Like, you're getting enough information to know that, like, Thrawn is the bad guy. You know what I mean? We can't let them find this guy, and then everything's tied in. So I'm glad that I didn't watch the cartoons, because then I don't have this expectation. You know what I mean? Of what I need, what needs to be in it, what doesn't need to be in it. I'm going into it blind, going like, oh, okay, this is a cool little story. You know what I mean? Like, the only complaint I have is her hair, or her head piece, or whatever the fuck it is, the thing that the digitally put into her, the thing hanging. There's certain shots where I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That looks weird. Like it takes me out of it for like 2 seconds, but then like I'm back into it and shit. But other than that, dude, I thought I enjoyed the story. I'm in it. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like you said, it hit my buttons. I had this dope ass lightsaber.
It had a lot of action.
Yeah, I was like, this is pretty cool. I was like, I'm in. I heard the humming, you know what I mean, of the lightsaber. I was like, oh, there it is, dude. I'm ready. You know what I mean?
That's the first thing I said. Check, Nick. Right? I was like, check mark, Nick. Like, it's gonna like this portion. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like,
I actually went out of my way this week to not watch anybody's reviews of this. Same. So that I could, get what we thought about it ourselves, and not hear what, people who are trying to fluff it up or to tear it down. Just try to go into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
Well, what about you guys? Did you guys watch it, Liz?
Yeah, we watched it right before we started our shows and stuff, and I kind of like the fact too that, I mean, like, I know all the characters. I'm like, oh, that's Hera, that's Sabine, that's, you know what I mean, that's Chopper. Like, I know them, but my extent of their knowledge of who the characters are comes from the Disney Infinity video game. So like, then not a lot, but I think there's a little bit of a testament to the storytelling that we can come into not knowing, and we actually have to extrapolate and think for ourselves. Okay, they had a contentious relationship. Okay, they, you know what I mean? Like you get to use the brain to put the pieces together to figure out the relationship that's going on. I'm sure watching the cartoon just adds that level of like, you know, like congruency through it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know who Thrawn is, but I don't know him from the new Thrawn. I know him from the Heir of the Empire series, the novel.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
So
well,
like,
I mean,
he from that. I don't.
As far as this goes, he's a tactical genius. He's got the Yasal Marie's salamander thingies.
Yeah.
He's
so that's my knowledge of Thrawn. I know that they've changed him a little bit. I know they've changed him for the continuity, you know, for this version or this world or whatever you want to call it of Star Wars. So I'm pretty sure he's got to be a badass if they like sent his ass out into the oblivion, is what it seems like. So he's got to be, you know, that's just my thought on it. But I mean, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of girls, but I didn't know all the guys died.
A lot of them are dead. Some are missing. A couple, you know, Ezra's gone. The main one is Ezra, and he's gone. So like he disappeared with Thrawn.
That's okay. I like the droids. The droids are perfect. I'm all of my.
I really enjoy the droid.
The droids every time. Without fail, it's always the droids. They're always my favorite characters, and it's just. I think it was okay. Like I don't know. Like for me, it wasn't like spectacular, but it was still like good. I put it on par with like maybe just a little bit below Rogue One because I really liked. I'm sorry, Andor. I really liked Andor, but it's like Andor, Ahsoka so far, and then like the Mandalorian TV show.
Zeb was the blue alien
furry guy. Big
yes.
And you know she's got a pet cat, so I like Sabine.
There was only one thing that did bug me a lot. That it bugged the crap out of me. Was, can nobody die? Because that's the thing that just pissed me off, right? Because we saw it on the previous on the previous show with the how does it called? Exhibitor, or whatever his name is.
The Inquisitor.
Inquisitor,
yeah.
He got a blade right through the stomach, and he survived. Right.
So did stupid Reva.
And then Sabine got one on her right side. Clear.
Qui-Gon's a master.
And then Qui-Gon is dead for any kind
That was exactly what Josh said. I don't fucking understand. How come everybody's walking up? It's like the G.I. Joe. They all get hit, but they all walk away.
And so that pissed me off. I mean, I like Sabine. I like the character and everything, but she should be dead. Like, it would have been great if she would have died there. I would have been happy, and the story continues. But how did she survive? I was like, it's crazy. And she was still like chilling, like I'm on the floor with the hole in my fucking stomach.
Well, there are different. I mean, to play devil's advocate, you can get. Let's remove the laser sword element of it. You can get stabbed a lot of different places, and it'll just miss organs, and it won't get you. And it could have just been that it didn't miss Qui-Gon's organ. You know, it could be as simple of an explanation as that.
It went straight through her, like, and it's a laser, for fuck's sake. Like, it burns everything.
Hey, I've seen kids be impaled by fucking beams in a car accident, getting it stuck through them like that, and they still survive through it. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, just shit. I didn't let that bug me. I was just
it bugged me. I mean, because I'm saying, like, Qui-Gon is a master Jedi, and he did not survive.
okay, so we're going off that logic. Think about this: Darth Maul gets split in half.
He should have been dead. He should have been dead.
Yeah. But if he survived, and we're okay with that.
No. I never. Who said we're okay with that?
I'm just saying.
Who said that? I don't want to hear you. Who said that? I'm just
saying. No,
I'm not. No one here is saying that because I wasn't okay with that. He should have been dead. I like that character, but the only reason he survived was because he's a popular character, and they wanted him on the story. That's the only reason why he survived. And I like
same with Boba Fett.
Yes, same with Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yep.
They're money grabs for fucking Star Wars. So that's the only reason why they survived.
Let the jaded ones speak.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm going to take your time. Go ahead.
No.
Or should we not?
No. So let me start with what's good. So I unlike Nate, I did watch some reviews of the show beforehand. And, that probably contributed to the fact that I kind of enjoyed it because I went in with very low expectations. A lot of the criticisms I saw had to do with pacing issues and I guess awkward moments between Sabine and Ahsoka where they thought that there was like some lesbian action going on.
No.
I didn't really pick up any of that. I didn't
pick up any of that either.
I'm going to rewatch it because I want to see that.
And I will say that so far, and we're only 2 episodes in, so there's a lot of room for them to fuck it up still. But I think that
damn it, Fuzzy.
So far, it's doing well. I wouldn't say as well as Andor, but I would say it's doing well. Now, on the critical side of things, so Havoc already covered the lightsaber thing. I think Disney doesn't understand lightsabers. We've seen them burn through blast doors. Okay, no person should survive a torso hit from a lightsaber. But it started with Finn, right? Finn survives. Then we see the High Inquisitor and Reva survive, and now we see Sabine survive, and it's absurd.
Yeah, but that guy that got stabbed at the very beginning of the first episode, the captain of the ship, didn't survive.
Right? Why not?
Because he's a guy.
Right. He's a white guy. So, so there's that. That was pretty dumb, but that's already been covered. I think that monument that they made of them, where it's drawn in the cartoon style, is ridiculous.
That was part of the cartoon. It came out straight from the cartoon.
I understand that, but we don't see anything like that in Star Wars anywhere. Nobody ever has the Emperor didn't have monuments where his likeness was drawn in a cartoon style. That's not. You're breaking the continuity when you do that.
Well, the Sabine, she's a Mandalorian, and she.
Everybody's a Mandalorian.
Yeah, for sure. But she was a Mandalorian before everybody was a Mandalorian, and she was also like into like graffiti art and tagging and stuff. So she always like was changing her hair color and her thing, and she would like. They were like the Sticky Bandits, whereas they would go do some shit to what do you call it? Commando style attacks against Imperial stuff, just as a ragtag band. And she would always leave a calling card of like some kind of a graffiti piece. So her and the art and that thing was always a part of her and the cartoon. Mm-hmm. So it didn't just come from nowhere. Like that
came from the cartoons.
Yeah, that was previously.
I know, but the thing is when you see her doing that in the cartoon series, it makes sense because in the cartoon they look like that. But if you're going to do a live action, then it ought to be more like photorealistic, right?
Well, no, not necessarily, because if that's what she was in the character, then that's just her style. Like if her style is cartoony in the cartoon, her style could just translate easy to cartoon style outside.
But is her style cartoony in the cartoon because it's a cartoon?
But it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
It can translate.
Well, no, because
when you look at the wall in her like little apartment, you can see in the background.
But I'm talking about the monument thing where she was supposed to be.
But that was her style. You can see it in her. You can see it like in her bunk, obviously on the ship. Was cartoony on in the wall, it was cartoony, so it just translates. Her style is that.
No, I'm going to get to the reason why this is
Because
done.
you're a poop butt.
Also, I'm sick and tired of map MacGuffins. They did it for The Force Awakens. They did it for Rise of Skywalker, and now we've got it going on in Ahsoka. It's a tired trope. Disney only seems to know how to do one freaking like storyline, and it's really stupid. So I'm tired of that shit. And I'm going to say that this really feels to me, more than anything else, like it's a Dave Filoni vanity project. He loves his own work. He loves the smell of his own farts. And now he's going to do it. He's going to rip one more time so we can all sniff it in deep and maybe be convinced that, he didn't have all that garlic and ceviche for lunch.
Hey, wait, but you said you liked it.
Look, so here's the thing. When you're talking about modern Star Wars, saying I liked it is a pretty low fucking bar. It's really, really low. So it has to be better than the absolute trash that we've received with things like Obi-Wan, the Book of Boba Fett. It's hard not to do better than that.
So it's under. I think it's like Liz said. It's under Andor. For me, like it's. I mean, it's still early. It's only 2 episodes in. But so far for me, like there's little things that bug me, and like I said, the lightsaber is the one that bugged me the most. So other than that,
hey, who do you think that Inquisitor is?
The Inquisitor? You mean
like Sam Witwer?
No, dumbass. The guy that's fully. You don't see his face. The guy that threw his lightsaber.
Well, the rumor is saying that it could be a Star Killer from the video game.
Yeah, and you see, in the credits, it has Sam Witwer.
Yeah,
who was Star Killer.
Well, Star Killer. So they're saying that even he said way before the Ahsoka thing came that rumor was that because they're always asking him about Star Killer. Like, I mean, he was Darth Vader's Padawan too. So like, is he ever going to come through the movies? He thought, well, rumor has it he might be one of the bad guys. So if he is, that's going to be badass.
So I got 2 questions for those of you that have pre-existing knowledge from the cartoon and everything like that. So first of all, Ray Stevenson, R.I.P. Love the guy, but is his character something from the show, or is he all new?
Never seen him before.
Okay.
No, you have. You saw him in Triple R.
I saw him in The Punisher.
That
was The Punisher.
I do enjoy him. I do enjoy his. I love his acting though. That guy, I like that guy.
I am interested in knowing what his deal is, but so far we don't know anything about the character. The other thing
they said a little. Didn't they say a little bit that he was part of the Jedi school, and yes, he survived the
Order 66.
He's one of the Padawans that survived.
He survived
Order 66. Yeah.
But he's all about power,
and he's also very old. So here's the other. My other question has to do. So, like Liz said, our familiarity with the characters like Sabine and Hera and the others, we encountered them in the Disney Infinity game. Now, what we saw in that game, which is pretty limited, but what we saw them in that game is that they're very upbeat, they're full of energy, they're like vivacious, they have like very active personalities. In this show, everybody is doing their best like Clint Eastwood impression, right? Really dry, really like surly, always staring down people. Like almost everybody, at least the main girl characters are all doing this thing.
Well, they've been through a lot.
I think that it depends on when you come across them. Just like if you come across Luke Skywalker and he's wearing a white robe, and then you come across Luke Skywalker and he's wearing a black outfit, even though they're both Luke Skywalker, those are 2 different dudes.
Yeah,
along their path. So the girls that you probably saw in the Infinity are the girls that are introduced before everybody gets killed and
sure, but my part is they're like is there like actual continuity with their characters? Because like I said, they seem to me to be very subdued, very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Melancholy.
Stoic.
Yeah,
grumpy.
they
like old
yeah,
grumpy Luke, you know?
Yeah, they saw everybody, like they saw all their peers die, like basically.
Well, they just reconciled their relationship at the end.
Yeah, but
it was, and that's a portion. See, that's a portion that by not watching the cartoons, you'll miss all that. Like you know, that's the only reason. Like
I feel like they remain true to their characters.
Okay. No, they did. They do remain true. Like, but I'm saying, it's the reason why they remain true is because like me and you are agreeing is because we watched the cartoons. If you haven't watched the cartoons, you'll miss a couple of things.
Can we get back to the Star Wars scissoring? Like, I want to know what scene that was at, dude. Like, I want to know what I missed because I might have got up to use the bathroom at that part. So, what episode do I need to go back and watch that? Because those are my two girls from Death Proof in one movie, and if there's a scene where they touch and do that, I'm in. Like, that episode just became
you know who I loved? You know who I loved? I was like, damn. It was the general chick.
We've moved from penises to vaginas now.
The general chick was awesome.
So
I thought everyone was good.
How involved was Ahsoka though in the Rebels cartoon? Because I thought
she wasn't a main character.
I saw her last episode of Clone, and then it was like nothing until Mandalorian.
She was one of the characters, but she wasn't the main one.
Yeah, she was an ancillary character. Captain Rex came through. Some clones that didn't succumb to Order 66 would fight on the side with the rebels. Rex was one of them, and there's a few other ones. And it was kind of interesting because they all had like gray beards because part of their deal was accelerated aging. So they're also growing older faster. So Captain Rex was one of them. And Ahsoka came through. She actually had an episode where she fought with Darth Vader. So Darth Vader came on Rebels. But she was maybe like 5% of the shows, to be honest.
Yeah, it was everybody else. It was all they introduced, like, you know, it was all the other characters.
What's the Mandalorian chick's name?
Sabine.
Out of all of them, as weird as it sounds, I was digging her character. Like, I thought they spent more, like, we got to know her more than we got to know all the other ones. You know what I mean? Like, they had a little more story. She had more story, you know, and more interesting story. The only part I thought was kind of like, where I was like, I rolled my eyes, was like you were saying about the map and the way she figured it out, like back at her fucking, you know, her bungalow, and she's just staring at it, and then she goes, and I was like, oh, she figured it out. Like, you know, I was like, come on, man. Dude. Like,
well, you know,
she's always been good at those kind of things.
All that to say is that we are still dealing with the Walt Disney Company and Walt Disney's Lucasfilm putting this together. My expectation is that they're going to screw the pooch. So
I hope not. I hope it stays good.
At this point, I'm willing to watch the next episode, but I'm not expecting them to do well. They're going to mess it up somehow hardcore.
And the funny part also, well, not funny, but remember those portions of the Mandalorian that we never understood why it was going on with the lady and back at, you know, with the ships and all that crap with the clone guy, and it came back. It actually came back in Ahsoka with all the with the rebel. I mean, with all the bad guys on the
Imperials.
Yeah. It fit, but it just didn't make sense through It shouldn't have been on Mandalorian. I think it should have been on Andor or something, but it just didn't. It didn't fit in Mandalorian. But it came back though. It fitted. It came back to the Ahsoka.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, and it'll be on in
tomorrow,
an hour. Yeah, well, tonight at midnight actually.
Oh, so we can watch it right now.
Yeah, it might be on
already. Do you want us to watch it?
No, yours is at 3.
Oh crap!
Or
We're 2 hours ahead of you guys, so.
Okay, so you'd be at 2 then.
Yeah.
So let's see, Fuzzy. What did you watch this weekend? You said you had ridiculous entertainment this weekend.
Yes, I had. I saw.
Let's get into it.
Blue Beetle. We talked about the Meg. We talked about. What else did I watch? Mario. We talked about. Fuck. What was the other one?
Hey Nick, sorry to interrupt. I wasn't here. That what do you think about Blue Beetle, really quick?
I gave it a 7.
Okay, just like me. Okay.
I didn't like that he was such a pussy throughout the whole movie. That was like my big complaint of the whole movie. Like I enjoyed it, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like I enjoyed it, but the family was the hero of the movie. You know what I mean? Like they came to the rescue. They did all that shit. So that was my biggest complaint. But I thought he was good. The kid, I think he has skill to do, in the next Blue Beetle movie, he'll do really good.
Does it have enough to warrant another movie?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think they said it's good for another movie.
That's not based on how you feel about it, though, Fuzz. That's based on the money it makes. Has it made enough money?
It's the second worst DC movie to date. They're
saying it's gonna make 160 million at the end, and it was only with everything, all the costs, it was 120, so they made 40.
Yeah, but it's still like monetarily, it's like the second. It didn't. The worst one is the Wonder Woman 1984. This is like right above it, but not by much.
Yeah, but everybody
monetarily, that's what it is.
I think.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Nick.
I think, let me put it this way. Sunday was movie day, right? $4 movie tickets. Every movie was $4. So I told the kids, I go, let's go see Blue Beetle. And we looked it up, and the only ticket I can get was at 7:30 at night. Like, every time was sold out for that movie. And I could go into any other movie except for Gran Torino, Blue Beetle, and
they're playing Gran Torino again.
Gran Turismo.
Turismo, whatever. Yeah, whatever. The race car thing. Those two were the ones that were like every theater I saw. They were all sold out pretty much. But then everything else I could still get seats for. But everyone wanted to see Blue Beetle, so I was like, all right, well, we'll just go at 7:30 and shit and watch it. And we did, and the theater was packed. Like, it was packed with people. Like, I haven't seen a movie theater that packed since like the fucking 90s. Like old school, like where I had to park away from the fucking theater and walk up because it was that packed with people. I was like,
was there babies crying in there?
Oh yeah, there was babies, all of them, dude, in there. Like it was a legit old school fucking.
It's got the demographic appeal for crying babies at the theater.
But then, like, I was the only one that I wanted to see that no one wanted to go with me to see, and so I almost snuck off because no one, like, all the tickets were empty. Was Strays, the one about the dogs and Will Ferrell and shit. But no one wants to go with me to see it, so I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm gonna end up going by myself. Dude, I don't give a shit.
We got to go see an Indian movie while you guys are here.
James just wanted to go watch that movie. I didn't want to go. I was like, yeah, nah, go ahead.
I almost texted him and said that because I was like, I thought he would dig it, dude. Like,
yeah, he liked it. He said he enjoyed it.
It looks funny, dude. Like, I'm down to see it. But and then what else did we watch? We rewatched The Flash. God damn, it got worse the second time around.
The Flash.
I do like I hate that. I can't believe I'm going to say this right now. I swear to God, like I'm going to kick myself in the nuts in a second for saying this. But I liked Fast X better than I liked The Flash, dude. Like, and you guys know how much I fucking pissed me off at that because, like, I was watching it here at my house.
Flash,
and I'm like,
or Bahubali.
Wait, which one was Bahubali? Is that the Swords and Sandal one?
Mm-hmm. That was
Bahubali. Bahubali. At least there was an attempt to tell a story. Like, Flash was like this is the second time going at it, okay? This is what I picked up. they had a plan, right? Halfway through the movie, and something happened. Like it's like watching a runner do a sprint, and they're doing fucking great.
That woman happened,
and then a fucking pebble got in the way, and they're just tumbling the whole fucking way to the end of the finish line. And they finished, you know what I mean? But it just like they had the idea, like, oh, we're gonna put every old person in these movies, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna try to do a Spider-Man, you know, multiverse kind of thing, and just put all these people in there because it was great. Even with Michael Keaton, like you're just like, okay, this is cool, like, you know, like all right. And then once it gets kind of like and to keep going back and forth. And again, I love time travel movies. Like I love that idea, like any kind of story about that. But this was kind of like, come on. At the end, I was just sitting there like with my head back going like, please God, end, please. And I could turn it off at any time, but I'm like, nope, I got to finish it. And then I remembered the one redeeming thing at the end when, I don't want. Oh, I'll spoil it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He comes back, and you think that everything's back to normal, and then they fucking like Batman. Bruce Wayne calls him, and fucking the car pulls up, and then out walks George Clooney as Bruce Wayne and shit. And I was like, oh, I love that because of how much shit he's talked about himself playing Batman and stuff like that, and to have him come back and just be like, yeah, I did. I'm doing it again, dude. I was like, yes, that's awesome.
Unfortunately, it's because a lot of those, high-profile celebrity actors are not simply the jesters of the modern age, but they're also whores. They will take the money.
That's one movie that I'm so disappointed that it could have changed everything. Like, if they would have done it correctly, it could have been 100 times better. Like, it's so sad.
And I think they, again, like if you watch that movie, I think the movie's like 2.5 hours long, right? Like you watch the first hour and 20 minutes of that movie, it's really well done. It's a great time travel story. You know what I mean? Like it's got the whole idea of him losing, like there's you think of Back to the Future is one of the greatest time travel stories, right? And the DeLorean gets him to 1955, but when it gets there, he fucking can't, it needs plutonium to fucking drive. Where's he going to get plutonium? Like, so how's he going to get back? It literally steals from Back to the Future. Like the beginning of the movie is very much a Back to the Future. And they even make reference to it. You know what I mean? In the movie that it's like Back to the Future. But then there's like a point where all of a sudden they're like, okay, now we're going to go this way. And you're like, no. I want to go back to that other story you were telling. Don't tell me the stories.
The problem was though, Nick, that the CW show did it better. And that's
110%.
They did it, and like, how can a TV show be better than a damn movie? Like the way the Flash runs on the CW show, 100 times better than the movie. The story based on Flashpoint of his parents, a mom dying, 100 times better on CW show. And that's how disappointing it's like if they could. If the CW they could do it. How can they not with all this money? It's like
because they put all of their effort into the CW show because the movie wasn't the movie wasn't even there. They're like, okay, if we're gonna do it well. So they put all of the effort into that. And
it was so good.
Like, well, shit, that did so good. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a movie based off of that. And
well,
then
do the shows have less hands in the cookie jar than the movies do?
Yes, that's part of it. But the other part of it is different. This: a TV show has an X amount of money they can use special effects per budget, right? So let's say a show's 30 minutes long. A show probably has enough money to do 10 minutes worth of fucking special effects, right? Which is going to be your ending climactic scene usually, right? So the rest of the show, the episode, has to be done through dialogue, has to be done through you have to try for that. When you're making a movie this big, they're just throwing money. They're like, oh, let's give them the biggest special effect. Let's give them Nicolas Cage, which they've never seen, which, again, I was stoked. I got to see Nicolas Cage as Superman and stuff like that. But you're like, do we really need that? You know what I mean? Like, that.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they also had Christopher Reeve show up.
That blew my mind. Like, I teared. I'm not joking. A tear fell out my eye. I was like, oh, shit, there he is.
Christopher Reeves and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Buffy the Vampire
Heather Slater. No, that's
Heather
Billie
Slater.
Jean.
It wasn't Chrissy Swanson. It was Heather Slater.
It was Billie Jean. Billie Jean is Supergirl.
She was in it too.
And that, which one?
She was in it too. Helen Slater.
Mm-hmm. And then
Really?
that was
It
the other
was
thing.
like a choppy CGI rendition of them was in it.
But then, like the other part that got me was, so like I know in the last review we talked about, I gave Supergirl. I was like, oh yeah, it was cool. This second time viewing it, I hated it. Like I hated it. Like she was pissing me off the whole time because I'm like, again, she's like mopey and shit. I was like, why are you so fucking mopey, dude? Like, I get
she wasn't
like,
fucking changed and for the whole goddamn time. What do you? How do you expect her to be happy if she's in a fucking chains and in jail?
I understand.
It's the trope of our age. That's how the girl has to be a fucking stoic Spartan warrior from 300. That's how they all are. That's how they all are.
But I'm saying, based on the story, how are you gonna have her be chippy and happy if she's been since she's landed there, she's been captured?
No,
under the red sun.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she should be chipper or happy. But I'm just saying there's a point when she's like talking. She's talking to Barry, to both Barrys, and they're talking, and she never changes her face. Like it's just a voice is locked in a thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, my wife looks at me like that all the time, and then she calls it a resting bitch face. I was like, the whole movie, this chick's doing the resting bitch face.
She hates you. That's why.
Well, I know that, dude. I know that. That's what I'm saying. I don't want my Supergirl looking at me like that, dude. I got her looking at me like that. I want her to smile at me at least, you know.
That's that.
This is what Supergirl's supposed to look like. Watch, right there. That's Supergirl. Look at that. Look at that.
You don't
so pretty. So
you don't
pretty.
think that Snow White Supergirl was hot?
Hell no. Hell, HE double hockey sticks. No. They tried to give her an extra large curl right
what
there.
What are you talking about? Oh, the Supergirl chick?
Yeah.
I thought she was hot. Yeah, I thought she was hot.
No.
Yeah, she was. She was
she
hot.
She got to be blonde for you, Fuzzy?
No, she just got to fucking be like feminine a little bit, dude. Like just a little. Like I don't even need her to be full blown. Like fucking. I love Rhea Ripley. You know what I mean? Rhea Ripley, for all you wrestling fans, know she's fucking. She's mommy's hot, but she's fucking. She'll whoop your ass, dude. Like you see her, she's like, damn, she fucks some shit up. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just give me a little bit of something to enjoy. Like that was even my problem with like April O'Neil in the last Turtles thing.
She's black.
I get it. No, not that. Like, she's not.
She's fat.
Hot. Well, I'm not saying that either. I think thick ladies are sexy, but there wasn't. Like, I remember being a kid and seeing the cartoon drawing of April O'Neil and being like, damn, like, wow, like I get it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I didn't.
She
get
had a
that
cool world Kim Basinger thing going on.
Impossible body, like the one you're just like that is impossible to own on a person, and if you did see it on a person,
I haven't
you
seen.
probably
Have
would
you guys
freak
seen
out.
Cool World lately? Like, I haven't. Does it stand? Does it still hold up?
I haven't seen that in years.
I haven't seen it in years either.
I've never seen Cool World.
It's okay. I think I remember I kind of liked it. I thought it was just okay when it came out. I never was like a fan of it.
That might be a good one for down the road. I just don't want to waste my turn on it. That's the problem. We're taking turns on these, and you got to wait a whole other month before it's your turn again. So there's like thought.
I've already started a list of movies to torture you guys with. Where I got like ones that I'm like, ooh, they're gonna hate this, and then ones I'm going like, oh, they might dig this one and shit.
I'm trying to think about like what'll I have fun watching, and what's going to get views.
You gotta have some torture in it. I mean, it makes it fun.
Right? Like, Legos movies, they were always an experience.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. I feel like that's Legos movies were like that little torture chamber that was set up by the Indian police when they were chasing Veerappan.
I seen a bunch of shit this weekend where I was like, fuck. And then what the hell? There was something else we watched where I was laughing and I was like, I'm gonna tell you guys about it. It was bad. It was hella bad. I loved it. Like I couldn't stop watching it because it was just so bad. I was like, this is awesome. Or did you guys see the pictures of Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger? The new posters that they put out. So Peter Dinklage is the Toxic Avenger, dude.
My brother mentioned that to me the other day.
I know he's doing that movie. Yeah, I know he's doing the movie.
There's like a still shot of like the shadow, the silhouette, and it's like him coming out with the mop behind him. I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Dude, it's gonna be awesome. But then like at the same note, I'm like, are they gonna do it in a serious like comic book vein? You know what I mean? Or are they going to do it in the Tromaville style, shitty, low budget, fucking? Because that was the only reason why that movie was so awesome, was because it was just so low budget and so bad. You never liked it?
I was like, this is garbage. I was like, what is this garbage?
Dude, I could not stop laughing throughout that whole movie. Like, it's still one of the funniest fucking movies. Have you guys ever seen it? The original Toxic Avenger?
I've seen parts of it, but I don't know that I've seen it all the way through.
I haven't seen it since it was out on VHS.
Yeah, that was I haven't seen it either in a long time.
I don't think you're missing anything.
Loving it.
I don't think you're missing anything.
But I'm stoked. Like I was like, Peter Dinklage as a fucking superhero. I'm down, dude.
I don't know.
I think that's the only reason I would watch it.
Peter Dinklage is responsible for the destruction of the Snow White movie, so there's that.
How so?
Apparently, when they announced that they were going to do the Snow White film, Dinklage had a social media fit where he complained about stereotypes for little people. And that's part of the reason why they decided for the movie.
So all the little people in the world lost their chance to get a job?
That is correct.
Oh, but because have you seen that? I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
Have you seen the girl that's portraying Snow White?
Oh, shit! I did it again.
And her and her interviews, like she comes off like wow, like horrible.
We're never gonna see that movie. They're gonna cancel. They're gonna not release it.
She hates that character.
This Snow White's not like the other Snow Whites. She doesn't need a prince to rescue her. It's different. She got her own thing going on.
They're not gonna release it.
Dude,
they'll release it just so people can fucking lose their mind.
Dude, they're hating her right now. They hate her. It's so bad that she had a fucking little video.
Anybody want to take any bets as to how fast that movie will get memory hold like Willow?
I mean,
that's Willow too bad too, because Snow White it's just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Snow White was what put Walt Disney Animation on the planet. It won a fucking Oscar. This is what made the company. You know what I mean? This is what allowed him to.
It wasn't the Lion King. It was Walt Disney's movie.
The Oscar was so enamored with this movie that they made 7 little Oscars to go with his main Oscar for this movie. Like, this is what put the studio and what allowed him to be able to have the clout to open up the park, to open up Disneyland, to start creating Disneyland because of all of this. This is what started it. Everybody says it started with the mouse. It did, but then this is the next thing that it did. And for them to take a shit on it the way that they're taking a shit on it is just it's abominable, is what it is. And if I ever saw her in the street, I will go to jail. Why don't I punch her in the throat?
That's right.
I will
go,
punch
Liz.
her in the throat, and I'll say, "How about now, bitch? Let's do this." And I'll go to prison or I'll go to jail. I'll serve my time gladly. I'll save the bail money. Just let me go, because when they find out that I knocked Snow the fuck White out, they'll be like,
they'll be the king of the prison.
That's right. I am. She makes. And what's sad is she's dragging Gal Gadot in it, and we're starting to see how far down the rabbit hole Gal Gadot really is with all of this type of stuff.
She was already gone years ago.
I understand that.
We were all just distracted by her beauty and charm.
No, but the thing is that she was never really as vocal about it.
Yep.
Now she's like, oh, okay, she's starting to let loose now a little bit more. And I'm just like,
just don't forget she was involved in singing that stupid rendition of John Lennon's Imagine. She's terrible.
I get that. I get that.
That was rough.
And part of her interview of that girl, it bugged me was that she said that she said, this Snow White does not need a prince, and that prince was a stalker, like on the like a stalker on the movie. And like, if you actually watch the original Snow White, the prince was there like 3 to 4 minutes. He wasn't even in it. He wasn't even that long.
They have a duet together, for fuck's sake.
You know, it's like he wasn't even that much.
He came along and heard her say, and they have a conversation. They talk. We're gonna meet. Everything's fucking honky fucking dory, and he's a stalker. Get the fuck out of here.
This is the problem I've always said. Like, I've gotten in arguments with my wife about it, where I'm like, when did stalking, like stalking to me is a guy sitting outside your window, like you know, like watching. Right?
That's so true. Like, yeah, like that. So like Pete, like, oh, he's a stalker. He got me flowers. I'm like,
that
what
just
the
means
fuck
he likes
is he
you.
supposed to?
Yeah.
Like, the only way a guy can get your attention is to swipe left, or fucking whatever the fuck way you swipe. That's the only thing.
About you, the only place that you can find a guy is on the swipe left, swipe right.
It's funny we're talking about this because, you know what I'm saying, I was making a list. I found a movie that I had forgotten about years ago, and it came on TV, and I put it on my list, and it was because of the reason why we're talking about now. Why I think I wanted to show it to you guys. It was called Serendipity with John Cusack, and I started watching it, and it literally made me, like, look, my hair stand up right now just thinking about it, like, just because it was a legit, like, if you wanted to say stalker, like, that was kind of it, but it wasn't, because it was a romantic, like, meet cute that, you know, like, it's just a great story. You know what I mean? Like, I've shown that movie to hundreds of people, and they all love it. Like, they're like, yeah, this is a really, like, beautiful movie. Like, it's a love story. You know, it's a legit love story and stuff. And you look at how people act about things now. It's like, well, then I'm glad I'm married, because, like, even when I asked my wife out, you know, the first day I took her out, I called her and I said, get your stuff ready. I, like, was very forceful with her about, like, hey, you're gonna go out, we're gonna have a good time, and we did, and now we're married. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I guess now I would be considered a fucking stalker or something like that, or, you know. So I'm so glad I did it when I did it, because otherwise I'd be screwed.
You guys, all you guys are married, so, you know, but it is hard out there, especially, you know, like, when I go out with these ladies, and it's a whole different way of, like, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know me, Nick, I don't even drink as much as I used to no more, but after a date, I'm like, you know what, I feel like having a drink by myself and just, like, forget about it, because it's bad out there. I mean, you guys are lucky, you guys are married, you know, have kids, yada yada, and oh, the dating scene is so horrible. It's horrible right now. I don't know. I was like, I should have just stayed when I had my girl. I should just stay there instead of partying like an asshole.
Hey, so Steve, question for you, since you're still in the dating scene.
Smirking.
So,
you're such a dick.
How speaking of, how concerned are you about your dates potentially having one of them?
A penis. Back to the penises.
Well, I mean, fuck. Nowadays, you don't even know until, you know, like, shit. And
are you worried about it?
Well, the people that I hang out with, like, go dates are like friends of friends. So, you know, they tell me,
they're
like,
pre-screened.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, you know, I don't really go out at a bar and try to pick up a girl at a bar. Because I'm not drunk anymore like I used to be. So that's how I used to do it all the time. But good liquor, courage. would help me out a lot. But now it's just friends of friends and stuff. But even that, it's bad. It's the and I'm not saying I'm not blaming all the women, like not all women. So I don't want people to hate me. I'm not saying all women are like this, because men are the same way. Men, if they're all the way around, they're dicks. But
Speak for yourself.
my experience right now is just like,
I'm a fucking romantic, all right?
Yeah, you are. And so, yeah, it's pretty bad out there. It's pretty bad.
I would not. I literally don't envy you at all. Like my favorite thing now is to try to, like before I would go to. There's a movie I used to watch called Wonder Boys that was with Michael Douglas and Tobey Maguire. Is one of my favorites. And there's literally a scene where Robert De Niro or Robert Downey Jr., Michael Douglas, and Tobey Maguire sitting in a bar drinking, and they're looking over at just people around them, and they're making up stories about like who they are, why they're there, and shit like that. Like, because they're all three of them are writers, so they do it. So I like doing that. Like, that's one of my pastimes I love doing. So I'll be fucking sitting there, and I'm watching like people on dates now, and I go, they met on Tinder. These people met at the bar right now. Look at that. Look how weird that is, dude. And you can see the difference between the two. Like, when you would meet somebody in person, like you'd bump into them and like say hi to them, there's a natural connection. You know what I mean? But when you're on a phone and you're looking at something and you're looking at what someone wrote there, like you got to like take time. Like I listen to my friends tell me stories about they've been dating a girl, but they've never met them. Like I'm like, how? Like I don't get that. Like I really don't understand that. Like
it's not dating.
And Nick, you know what? You just brought something up. Like I'm old already, so I'm used to talking on the phone. Like even back in the day, like when I was a teenager, I don't know, I was always, after 7:00, it was free for long distance, and so I was able to use the phone and yada yada. So I'm used to talking on the phone. So nowadays, the girls that I meet, all they want to do is text. And I'm not really a text person. Like, every time that's a big pet peeve. Every time I call goddamn Nick, and he never answers, and he 2 minutes later,
because you
what's
call
up?
me when I'm fucking eating, and I'm like, dude, I don't
what's up?
Blah, 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 like that, dude. I'm not trying to be...
And so, like, with these girls, like, for me, like, I don't feel a connection because I don't, I have to hear them. I have to, like, see them or whatever.
Yeah,
but
you're
they
not
want to
meeting them at work or anything like that.
No, and so they want to, text and just text. I'm like, I just don't. It just doesn't apply to me. So I was like, this is so. It's more draining than anything. It's draining.
You know what's crazy? It's for guys that are over 6 feet tall and make a certain amount of money and have a certain look. They're probably pulling like 98% of, like, the girls are all swiping right on those guys. On these apps, those guys are slanging dick like nobody's business. And the other guys who aren't that, they become incels. For those of us who don't know, that's an involuntary celibate. Like, you're not trying to fucking be celibate, but you just fucking can't have anybody that wants to fuck you, so you become an incel, and it's sad, And if there's a considerable portion of people who are turning to like mail order brides, like the Philippines, Eastern Europe. You can get a hot Ukrainian chick right now. All you gotta do is offer to get her papers sorted out.
Well, now is the passport boys. Now it's not. Now it's just them guys going out to different countries and having fun, and that's all good and dandy. But for me, it's like it's just back in the day how there used to be house parties or family parties and stuff. Like there used to be all these kind of things. That's how you met a person, like at a house party, and yada yada. That's how I used to do it, like back in the day, and it was always fun because I always met something new, hang out, hooked up, whatever.
You could go to other places though. Like there's places where you could go to church, dude. You can meet single girls at church.
have to be at church.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Those are the scary ones.
But
those are
nowadays,
the single white female ones. Don't do it.
I'm not a club guy no more. Like I'm not really a. I mean, I'll do a lounge here and there once in a while for a special occasion. But I'm too old already. I've been there, done that. I've done the clubs. I've done the bar scene. I don't want to get.
You just got to find the
anymore.
right club. There's clubs for old people.
Hey,
True.
I could find it for you, but
No, I went with Nick once. I went with Nick once to an old people's bar, and I mean,
we were the hippest, youngest people in the fucking bar.
Yes, we were the youngest. Okay, and we're not even that young.
No,
and
we are not.
I think the oldest there was like 95.
And they were
Right?
karaokeing. No.
Yeah,
They had
karaoke.
a band. No, there was a band. It was a band, dude. It was an awesome. And
I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. I thought the old man was gonna have a heart attack singing.
My garage is twice the size of the bar. So everyone's
Dude,
like this.
it was
shit
so
inside.
small. It's like, oh my god, that was a fun. I mean, I enjoyed it because I was just old people watching. But oh man, it's just It's like, where'd you bring me, Nick?
I like to travel to weird and different places. I like to.
I know you like the old ladies. I know.
The old ladies love me, man. I keep telling you guys this, dude. They just want to touch all this fuzziness.
They love Josh too.
Because we're gentlemen. That's why they could smell it, dude. We're a dying breed and shit. That's why, dude. But
no, I'll say Josh is a gentleman. I don't know about you. You're just
we have to start breaking some people's tips because getting up on my man.
Steve, listening to Steve's struggles, Steve, you just need to go back to the caves, you goblin. That's where you're gonna find it.
You bastard.
No, man, dude. Like, I think I bust Steve's balls all the time about it because he'll be talking to girls all the time. I'm like, you better fucking hit that shit, and he'll be like, nah, man, and I'm like, I get it. It's probably more drama than it is like it used to be, before.
Like, before it was not. It was no drama back in the day. Now you gotta be super fucking careful.
Because everyone will post something. If you do something wrong, they could post something on there that's a bunch of bullshit, and you're screwed.
Look, I think that there's probably an element that you're missing. Because the other day, I was at work, and there were a bunch of us that were talking about the kind of dating scene, and like the girls today, they've never heard the pickup lines that we used back then. So for them, it's all fresh and new, dude. You can just go back and hit them with like the old school stuff, and they'll be stunned at your prowess.
No wonder the old ladies love me, because I lay it on. I do it like jokingly, like I'm like, baby, you must hurt because you just fell out of heaven, and they're just like, aren't you just the sweetest thing? I'm like, I guess so. Shit.
I'm talking young ladies.
You got to get the lines right, though. You can't. I can see like having the lines on a napkin, but oh, God took the stars from the skies and put them in your eyes. And I can see somebody like, oh, you got a star in your eyeball.
Well, shoot, I've seen old ladies melt because they just Nick just says, what do you say? Hello, young ladies, or what do you
how you doing, young ladies?
Yeah,
I go, how you doing, young ladies?
Just because he said young ladies, they're like, oh, we're young, thank you.
Even I bless you.
And I'm next to him, I'm like, calm down, Grandma, calm down.
Well, I
put those teeth back on, Grandma. Put those teeth back on.
And my wife hates it when I do that. Like, she gets so fucking annoyed. That, or when I tip my hat, like when I'm like, "How you doing, young lady?" Like that, they lose their fucking mind, and if it's one of the boys, I'm like, "How you doing, bud?" Like that, and they'll fuck. She's like, "Stop." She's like, "Stop fucking doing that, you son of a bitch, dude. You look like an idiot." And I'm like, "Hey, it's how people remember me, dude. You know what I mean?" And ladies love it. Maybe I should sell like insurance to the elderly or something like that. I could probably make good money that way.
So you guys probably didn't see the texts that I sent because you're on your phones.
We saw it
because we've got Josh's phone, so we can look it up. So yeah, we saw it.
So we got Revenge of the Nerds coming.
Cool.
That's gonna be like a party. I figured our conversation about the struggle of dating and all that stuff, they can segue right into Revenge of the Nerds. You know, the nerds are able to get through to the girls, and that was a thing too, right? Where they start off and they're in school and they can't get any, and then they go become tech giants.
Well, that's part of it. That nowadays, what the guy did is like, oh, kind of sus, kind of suspect.
Oh, you mean like putting a camera in?
or
do you guys ever watch the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes,
I've seen episodes, but
watch this one episode called the Mountain. It's like called Mountain. So remember in the 80s they had like every other movie was a ski movie. You know what I mean? Like it was Ski Patrol, fucking, you know, like all that shit.
Those are the best.
I agree. So they did an episode called The Fucking Mountain, and they go skiing, and the episode starts going like everything on the mountain's like different, like gravity doesn't exist, you know, like all this stuff. So like they take off, you know, and fucking. If you love 80s movies and like those old school movies like that, they have all the actors in playing bit
the
parts
dudes
in it.
From ski school were at Pasadena Comic-Con.
That's awesome, dude.
I was like yeah.
They literally have remember the dude from Can't Buy Me Love? You shit on my house. You know, fucking the one redhead kid that's in like every 80s movie, teen movie and stuff. He's in it. He has a great line in it too. Did you come on my sandwich? Did you fucking come on my sandwich? And like, so the whole episode's played out like as if it's a normal 80s, like fucking like, you know, Ski Patrol kind of movie. But right at the end of the movie, all of a sudden, like you hear the record scratch and the cops come and they go, we're here to arrest the sexual predator. And it's like they're arresting him for all the shit that we were like, you know, you're like, oh, it's, you know, it's just part of the fucking thing, like ripping off girls' tops and showing their tits and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, that's sexual assault. And they had like a drill hole inside the girls' bathroom, and they arrested him for that shit too. I was laughing so hard. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Everything the guys did in the 80s. Well, yeah, it was just fun and games in the 80s.
Porky's we wouldn't have Porky's nowadays.
Yeah. I love Porky's. I literally, when I showed Cole that, it didn't make me laugh as hard as I remembered it did, but the classic scenes, like the dick through the fucking, you know, when she's got a hold of his dick, and she's like, and the guy's like, you know, she's like, I need to see these certain boys, and if you line them up in front of me, I will find that penis, you know, like I'll find it. And the one guy, he yells out, he goes, what if we get the police department to send their sketch artist, and he'll draw it, and we'll put it all around the school, dead or alive. Like, that shit's hilarious. Like, you know, because she kept going like it had a distinct mole. God.
Man, don't die, man.
Right, emphysema.
There's certain scenes in movies to this day that just fucking kill me. Like, they literally, I'm gonna die one of these days watching a movie. I'm gonna just be watching a scene like that and just be like, and go out. And I'm happy.
Smile on your face.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dying with a smile on my face.
So Fuzzy, if you had to think back on your long history of movie appreciation, what is the movie, the one that stands above all the rest, that made you laugh so hard you didn't think you were going to recover?
Like full movie, or like a movie with like a scene fucking
like whatever the one is, that even if it's just a single scene that just made you lose it, and you just didn't think you were ever going to be able to like recover from it.
Dude.
The episode where it broke Cartman and he couldn't laugh anymore.
Because there's literally like my kids. Okay, so there's this running joke in our house, dude, that my kids fucking know certain movies I'm watching by the tone of the way I'm laughing. And so like there's a real shitty movie called Clifford with Martin Short where he plays a child and he wants to go to Dinosaur World, right? Have you guys ever seen this? It's an old, like, shitty, it's old. Like, I won't even torture you guys to watch it because it's this one, And it's the dumbest fucking scene. Like, I don't know why I think it's so fucking funny, but it just kills me every time. And it's because of Martin Short's face, like his expression. And so he's like walking. He's like a priest. You know, he's this old man priest, and he's walking. He's like, "Good day, good day." And you just see this fucking basket or a briefcase or a suitcase come falling out of the sky, and it hits him in the head. And he's like, "Oh!" And he goes down. And as he's getting back up, a fucking ball hits him in the head. And he goes back down and shit. Fucking on the floor. Like, I don't know why. Cuffs. Have you guys ever seen Cuffs?
Years ago.
With Christian Slater?
Yeah,
his apartment gets shot up. At the time when his girlfriend's parents are coming to meet him, and he kills a guy in his apartment, right? And so he's trying to like get the parents in the other room, and they see the dead body, and they're like, "Oh, you know, this is a lovely house." And he's like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden there's a knock at the door again, and he pulls out his gun. He's like, "All right, just get in the bedroom. You know, I'm going to get him." And he opens the door, and he's like, "Freeze, motherfucker." And there's his accountant behind there, and all he does.
And there we go.
He goes, he sticks the gun in his face, and the guy goes, and just falls out.
What did you do?
This is the best fucking scene.
Oh my god. I want to kill you right now, Nick.
How about you, Nate? What's your number one like laugh out loud movie moment?
It's I watch a lot, like a ridiculous amount of stand-up comedy, and certain ones I can watch over and over again, especially if I'm with the friends that I was with when I watched it in the first place, and we all had that first laugh with it together. And it's either Bring the Pain or Bigger and Blacker, but this is one of them. It's where Chris Rock says, "Michael Jackson lost his mind. Shows up to court looking like Captain Crunch. You gotta get a decent suit." Cause oh my god, Captain Crunch. Oh my god, Michael Jackson did look like Captain Crunch, and he was going to fucking court, so it was great. Oh, that was good.
Or what about like even Mel Brooks movies, dude? Like, there's always like in every one of them, there's always a scene that fucking kills me like to death. Like even Blazing Saddles, the fucking fart. That is one of the best scenes like ever recorded on fucking film, where they're just sitting around a campfire. He's like, for 1 minute, like you could time it. It's 1 minute straight of just farts. And the guy looks at him. He's like, "Can I have some more beans?" Like, "You don't need no goddamn more."
How about you, Sanchez? Is he still with us?
I don't. Shit. I don't really have one. There's so many movies out there that make me laugh and just.
So
like
what
Nick.
you're saying is that you're as sad a fucker with movies as you are in your dating life.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
He set it up and he fucking hit it right there out the park.
No, I'm not gonna comment because I'm like, I don't want you saying something like that mean to me. Like, when you put me on the spot like that, I don't know. Like, you know me, I laugh all kinds of weird shit.
That is true.
Like, I was rolling when we were watching Clue. I mean,
I love for me, I love like I could laugh at American Pie. Like, I love American Pie.
Some of those scenes are good. Some of those scenes are good.
What about you, Josh?
I used to do drugs. I still do drugs, but I used to too.
So I don't have a girlfriend, but I know a lady that would be really mad to hear me say that.
My movie, and it was a one and done thing. So I've watched the movie dozens and dozens of times since, and it doesn't have the same effect. It still gets a chuckle out of me, but the very first time I saw it, because it was so unexpected, and it's not really a comedy film, but it's the scene in Army of Darkness when he's in the pit, and the old man calls out to him, says, "Strange one," and he throws the chainsaw down into the pit, and Bruce Campbell just, screams, "Ah!" Like puts his stump in the air, and it connects exactly.
Click.
In the movie theater, I had never seen any of the Evil Dead movies. I had no idea what to expect, and the scene was so absurd, and I was laughing so hard that I think I missed the next 10 minutes of the film, and I literally fell out of the chair in the theater onto the floor and all the sticky crap that was down there, and I'm just dying, and my friends are actually like, "Will you get it together, dude? There's a movie going on." And I'm gone. I'm just gone. And it is still a funny scene, but it was only that first time because I just didn't see it coming, and it was just, I've never laughed hard in my life.
That's how it was with the Piranha movies, the remakes of the Piranhas. I still think they're funny and stuff like that, but when I saw them in the theater, dude, I'll never. That was one of the most funnest experiences in the theater. I was with my homegirl Sherry, and we and her always see the fucking weird horror movies together, right? And so we go, and it's 3D, you know what I mean, and fucking we're laughing, we cannot stop laughing just how shitty the movie is, and they're trying to make it that way, and make that shitty dialogue and gory scenes. People are getting up and walking out of the theater, and we're on the floor fucking laughing. And then at one point, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's Jerry O'Connell is playing the guy from Girls Gone Wild, the guy that runs Girls Gone Wild. So he's out there filming chicks with taking their tops off and stuff. And at one point, the boat tips over and he falls in the water, and the fucking piranhas eat him from the waist down, and they pull him out. He's like, "They ate my dick. They took my dick." And then literally it cuts to the bottom of the ocean, and you see his dick come, and again it's in 3D, so I just saw a dick come flying by my face, and I fucking start laughing so hard, right? And then a piranha comes out of nowhere and eats it, right? And then spits it back at you. And then the sequel, right? So me and her were like, "Dude, we got to go see the sequel." We go see it, and it's Piranha Double D. Okay, that's how dope it is. They had to call it Double D. And we go there, we put on our 3D glasses, and again, there's literally, I was like, they can't top that scene. There's no way. Nope, they did Fuzzy right, dude. Let me tell you. No, dude. The virgin girl goes swimming into the thing, and a baby piranha flies up her cooter. And so she's like, "I feel sick. I think I'm gonna die. I don't want to die a virgin." And she gets this guy, and she's like, "Just fuck me. Just fuck me." So he starts fucking her, dude. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Ah. And he gets out, and the piranha's on his dick. He's like, "Ah!" And he's trying to get it off. So he has to take a knife and cut the fucking tip of his dick off.
I do remember one time I was laughing so hard that it was during Van Wilder.
Oh.
I went to
love Van Wilder.
I love Van Wilder.
His friend Tom, right there, and so I got Josh on one side of me, and Tom was on the other side. You two weren't sitting next to each other for some godforsaken reason.
You got to have the I'm not gay seat.
Yeah, I was the not gay seat in between them.
You're the bumper.
And so when the dog, they fill those eclairs up, and the next scene they're eating it, I'm laughing because I think it's the funniest thing at first. I thought that was pretty funny. So Josh is kind of laughing. Tom is laughing too, but then Tom just it sinks in extra, and he starts and he's ready. Oh God! And I'm laughing. What ended up happening is I'm laughing at these two. I had to get up and move two seats down because I was afraid they were gonna start yakking on me. But it was fun. Their initial reaction was to laugh, and then it clicked. You could see the moment where it went. It's dog cum, and they were just and you can hear
from Balzac.
they're still laughing, but they're still gagging, and it's just,
and I'm sure you remember.
I thought it was hilarious.
They were big balls and they got small.
Yeah, the next time he's like,
you remember, and I'm sure you remember the scene. What sells it is all the comments while they're eating it, like, "Oh, you know, it is still warm." I think I've had this before.
Oh, that was nasty.
No,
Right, yeah.
the one of the best openings ever is that scene where he's getting tailored right in the opening of the movie, right? And you just see from behind the lady behind him, right? And she's just going like this, and you hear, and he's like, yeah. He's like, look at me, a pro. You're a pro. And then like the camera cuts, and it's her with a lollipop in her mouth, and she's just fucking tailoring his pants and shit. Dude, I fucking love that shit, dude. Like, Van Wilder is one of the unsung, like, amazing movies from back in the day. Like, that was,
I love
like,
that movie.
Yeah, like Ryan Reynolds has like Van Wilder and Deadpool. Like, those are his like trademark fucking things. Like, just like me to this day, me and my wife still do the write that down. Like, you know how he kept turning that.
I would love for your piece to be on me.
Are you stalking me? Because that would be awesome.
My theory is
it had so many good one-liners.
College.
Yeah, right.
That's all it is.
No, I love them. But I mean, like, there's movies like that for days where like people are like, you like that movie? I'm like, it's just because of this one fucking scene, or, you know, like something like that where you see like something just always like gets me. Like, even like Crocodile Dundee, I just rewatched them.
That's
and
not a knife.
Yeah, like that, exactly. Like, that's a great fucking scene. You know what I mean?
It's a knife.
This is a knife. Like, you know, shit like that. You know, like you laugh your ass off still. Like, even Beverly Hills Cop 2 is still one of those movies where every one line joke that Eddie Murphy gives, I'm on the floor laughing, dude. Like, there's one of my favorite lines ever in that movie is he's driving Judd Reinhold's driving the fucking semi truck, and he's just crashing into every fucking cop car like he sees in like every car. And Eddie Murphy looks over at him and goes, "What are you driving with, the Force? Like, what the fuck?" And then they go to the Playboy Mansion, and he's like, "How are we gonna find the guy?" And Eddie Murphy looks up and is like, "Just follow your dicks." He just starts walking around trying to find the bad guy and shit, dude. I love. Like, again, the guy could go on for days at point.
They're both. He's in both of them.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. No.
And I like, no, I will not.
No, I cannot.
Favorite scene.
Golden Child.
Yeah.
I want the knife.
Please.
No, the best scene in that movie is right after that when he's in there and he goes, "There's a floor, Monty. There's a floor," and he drops the quarter. There's no floor. No, my favorite Eddie Murphy is everyone's, like, the one like no one sees. Another 48 Hours. Fucking when he's in the bar and they're beating the shit out of Nick Nolte again, and he grabs the gun, he fires off shots, and he points it at him. He says, "Now knock that shit off. I have been having a very bad day. Already I've been shot at. I was on a bus that flipped over 17 times. A bitch tried to stab me in the bathroom, and my car exploded. This man right here is going to help me fix it." And the guy with the redneck goes, "I don't think you have the balls to use it." He shoots him in the kneecap, and the guy falls down. Anyone else want a limp?
That's a high point. Let's leave it at that. Leave it at that. We've done it. I think this would be a good topic for next time, though. Josh, that's a good one. I like it.
Yeah,
and
like
we'll have plenty to talk about. It's a mini series that we're going to be doing for Radioactive Curry. So I sent you guys a picture of what it is.
Are we doing the whole
2 episodes? Do 2 episodes. They're like 40 minutes each. There's a total of 7, so we'll do 2, 3 on the finale. We'll see how it goes. I hope it's good.
We're gonna end up having to skip. We'll be here next week, but the following week we won't be able to do it because we'll be on the road.
We'll figure it out.
On the road again.
Maybe we
Well, I'm
do
gonna-
it together.
And then next week I might be heading to Arizona on Monday. So if I am, I'll do it from either my hotel room or I don't know though because I got a show this weekend. So I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Hey, talking about the show. Are you and the old man or just you?
It's me. Yeah, it's me and Tom and Greg.
Okay.
Why you don't want you want to come?
I don't know.
Look, man, I shouldn't be saying this because I am. I mean, come to the show, hang out with Fuzzy, but as far as like attractions, I think we brought the biggest person there, Greg.
I think you did. I don't think there's nobody else there.
Yeah,
Long
it
Beach,
wasn't.
it's no longer what it used to be, but it's horrible.
No. That's why I'm literally doing it. It was cheap, and I figured why not hang out with Greg a little bit. So come out and hang out with Fuzzy and Greg, the Hammer Valentine, and you can take a picture with both of us.
Get
I won't
hammered.
charge you nothing. That's right.
Shit, if I roll, I'll roll with you. Shit, if I'm gonna go.
Well, you got to be squished in the car, baby. I got to.
I don't care.
Friday I set up, so I should be good.
I'll let you know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us. We love you guys. Don't forget to click and like and tickle our pickle down there at the bottom. Or if you want, you can scissor us and make sure that we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, have some love, some peace, and that Popeyes grease. We out. Peace.
Later, guys.
Night.